it's Jessica on Hoffer Makes It Shine, and welcome to week 4. We made it! Our core challenge is in our last week. Over the past 3 weeks, we've built our foundation, we've found our stability, and we've worked on our strength. Today, we're working on bringing all 3 of those things together. This workout is about integration and confidence. Asking your core to help support you when you move, balance, shift, rotate, and transition from exercise to exercise. Just like the last 3 weeks, we'll let our breath take the pace, staying at those 10 breaths of work and 2 breaths of rest. Don't worry about keeping up with me. Move at your own pace and make modifications when you need to. Focus on control instead of speed. At the end, we're going to hold our forearm plank and see how it all came together. This isn't about being perfect. This workout series is about confidence, stability, and progressing from where you started, moving forward, getting stronger and more confident. So take a deep breath. Let it go. And let's get started.
This video is for general educational purposes only and not a substitute for medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider before beginning any new exercise program and listen to your body. Join me on the floor, taking those knees under the hips, the hands under the shoulders, and tuck those toes. We're going to start with a few simple breaths, contemplating the goal for this week as we integrate the foundation, stability, and strength, all working towards the goal of building confidence. So if you've moved through weeks 1 through 3, in week 4, we can ask the core to coordinate with the shoulders, hips, balance, and rotation. Checking in with our form as we continue those 10 breaths. We're going to pull that belly in towards the spine. That back is flat where you can balance something on top of it. The palms are pressing into the floor. The shoulders are pulled down and away from those ears, all while breathing in and out. Now let's adjust ourselves as we prepare for a bear hover to a down dog. So we're just lifting those knees up and straightening the legs back. The hips are coming down and up. Arms are straight. We're doing this with our breath. In and out. Down and up. Breathe. Control that movement. Keep that belly in nice and tight. Back and down. Walk those feet forward slightly and hold it here in a down dog. We're trying to pull those heels towards the floor for those 2 breaths of rest, and then drop down onto the knees, keeping those toes tucked. Let's transition to our plank shoulder tap with knee drive. First, I'm going to show you the low plank with the knee to elbow on one side, shoulder tapping. Use that breath in and out. Let's do 10 reps on one side of the body with a shoulder tap, and then taking that knee towards the outside of that elbow. Breathing in and out. And once you reach 10, push back into a child's pose, reaching those arms overhead for 2 breaths. In and out. Coming up, you can stay in that low plank or the high plank modification, taking those knees off the ground, tapping the shoulder and driving that knee up towards the elbow. Whatever you do on one side, do it on the other. One side is always going to be easier than the other, but we want to have balance throughout this flow. Breathing in and out for 10 breaths. Drop it down and go into your child's pose for 2 breaths as we prepare for that side plank thread through and hip lift. Second breath, let's move onto that side body, taking that low leg bent as a support. We're going to draw that arm straight out, rotate the body, threading the arm, and then lifting that hip as you lift the hand upward. Breathe and extend. Feel that spine twist and lift. Your obliques are working, pushing those hips and rotating that arm. Breathe in and out as you move up and down, and then take that pause, rolling the shoulder one way and then the other with each breath. And let's come on to the other side for that side plank thread through and hip lift. 10 breaths here. So lift, extend the arm, twist and thread, and lift the hip. Breathing in and out, lifting up and twisting through. You can do it. Breathing for 7, 8, 9, and down and up. Lower down. Roll out that shoulder with the breath. And then let's rotate onto our backs for dead bug to leg extension. This is where we're going to take those knees up, legs 90 degrees, arms straight out from those shoulders. We're going to extend those legs all the way out as we reach the arms overhead. Bringing everything back to center. Keep the low back controlled. Remember, 10 breaths. Push and pull. Use that core to stabilize. Lengthen those limbs. Out and in, and bring the knees into the chest for 2 breaths. Let's move on to the glute bridge march after those 2 breaths. So placing those feet on the floor, hands are by your side. The further away you walk those feet, the more you're going to use your glutes. Find that sweet spot and lift those hips off the floor. We're going to draw the knees towards the chest, keeping that 90-degree angle, lifting the back off of the mat. This brings back week 1 with more functional stability. We're not letting those hips rock, and we're breathing in and out for 10 breaths. Lower down and bring those knees into the chest for 2 breaths. As you breathe, you can even lift the head and lower. And then once you're finished with the breath, we're going to rock to seated as we prepare for our boat to V-sit. So bringing those knees in and out and keeping those arms parallel. We're really working the core as we hinge in and out, drawing those shoulders back and extending the legs forward. Feel that deep core begin to burn and focus on your breath, holding that last one out for 2 and then dropping down onto the elbows, drawing the knees in and lowering down. Moving on to our next exercise, we're taking those knees again into a 90-degree angle. Draw one knee in and then the other for a reverse tabletop knee drive. This adds posterior chain strength while forcing the core to stabilize. So those hands are by your side and you're just working those legs, keeping that low back pulled down towards the floor. Breathe in and out, driving that knee up into the chest and then lower the feet. We're going to roll over to our plank shoulder taps with knee drives. A bonus sequence here, walking our way through a low plank with shoulder taps and then low plank with shoulder tap and knee drive, alternating sides this time, and then pulling ourselves all the way off the floor to that high plank shoulder tap knee drive, working both sides of the body. So as you work through this core challenge series, you should be able to eventually reach this variation of alternating sides and tapping the shoulders, driving those knees, and lifting those hips up off the floor, really using that core. Drop down into child's pose for 2 breaths. In and out. And come up onto those forearms. We're going to take those legs straight back, hovering that entire body off the floor for the core plank challenge. Holding ourselves up, pulling that core in, working with our foundation, finding our stability, using our strength. We're integrating it all together in this final pose for 10 slow breaths. We're going to use our muscles to float towards the floor, taking those sweet 2 breaths of rest. Let's press up into a gentle back bend, taking those forearms to the floor, elbows under the shoulders. Breathing in and out to decompress. And wind down from that core challenge. You did it. You did an amazing job. Take this time to really reflect on all the work that you've accomplished in this series. We're going to walk our hands closer, lifting up off of the floor. Come into an easy seat. Cross those legs or one in front of the other. We're going to take the hands by the side, rolling those shoulders, and then one hand on the heart and one hand on that core. We're going to take 5 breaths here, in and out. Breathing deep in and out. One more in and out. Let's switch the hand placement. So opposite hand to heart and core for 5 breaths. Slow and controlled. Feel that chest lift and that core tighten. Breathe in and out. Taking those hands by your side, let's lift all the way up overhead, really stretching that spine, opening the core muscles, lifting. Take the hands together, breathing in, lifting up. Slowly lower those hands down to heart center. That head is going to follow that motion, bringing the chin to chest. Breathing in and out. And that's it. You did it. Not just week 4, but this entire 4-week core challenge. We started by building our foundation, then worked on stability, built strength, and today we brought it all together with confidence. Take a second and think back to that first workout. Maybe your plank feels stronger. Maybe you have more control. Or maybe you simply feel more confident in what your body can do. That is progress. And remember, this doesn't have to be the end. Come back to these workouts anytime you want to keep building. Thank you so much for spending these 4 weeks with me. Be proud of the work you put in, and I'll see you in the next workout. You've got this. Next week, we're bringing all of it together, the foundation, the stability, and the strength we've been building, to move with more confidence and flow. So take a moment to notice how you feel now compared with where you started in week 1. 3 weeks down, 1 more to go.